G'day everybody, my name's Mark Wilkinson and you're watching the AU Review.
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, thanks for having me.
You just started on a jaunt around the US. You played a show last night at the Hotel Cafe.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how that show went.
It was really cool actually. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been there before, but really nice, intimate venue, and the sound was great and the crowd was great, so yeah, had a really good time.
Do you notice anything yet about how the crowds here compare to at home, or is it too early to tell?
Literally, that is my first show ever, so I wouldn't make that call yet. But I don't know. There's a few people chatting to you from off stage. So that was nice. Pretty interacting. So hopefully it continues like that. Yeah.
It's a very special venue, the Hotel Cafe. They're all about really supporting up and coming singer-songwriters. Had you heard about that venue before you played that?
Yeah, look, I'd heard it, but I didn't know anything about it really. I just think I heard a few people talking about it in passing, so I didn't really know what to expect. But yeah, coming here, I was told that it was a really kind of the sort of place where lots of acts go. It's the first place they go. It's got a good reputation particularly for kind of singer-songwriters and artists in my kind of genre.
So you mentioned this is your first time performing in the States. You've had quite a few releases over the years. What was the catalyst here compared to your past releases? What got you over here this time?
I think I've been working with sort of a manager over here, and we've been talking about doing some stuff for a while. We met in Australia. I was busking on the street, and I met her, and we've been talking about trying to set something up for a little while now. And just a few things happened. Like I released a new album, and I finished the tour in Australia. And this sort of period seemed like a good time to have a crack and see how things go over here. So yeah, that's kind of how it eventuated.
I understand in addition to the show at Hotel Cafe, you have done a couple of busking gigs around LA.
Yeah, well actually the second day we flew in on a Monday I think, and today is Wednesday. Yesterday went down to Santa Monica 3rd Street Promenade, I think it's called. Did a bit of busking down there, so that was cool. Saw a few of the sights, and did a bit of playing before the gig, so that was good. We tried to do a little bit today as well, but the weather was pretty crappy, so we had to sort of shelve those plans.
How important is busking for you? Is it a good warm-up just for everything? And
for sure, like I do a lot of busking in Sydney as well, which is where I live, and I try and do it. I've been trying to do it in other places too, just because I think it's a really good way to practice for one, but also you just get in front of a bunch of people that you probably would never see otherwise, and it just gives you more exposure, and it gives you, I think, a pretty first-hand kind of feedback into how things are sounding. If you can try new songs, there's no set list that you have to write, so you can kind of just change things on the fly. If you want to try something new, you have that freedom. So yeah, it's really nice in that way.
Has anything come out of that musically for you? Like anything specifically?
I think definitely certain things come over better than other things, and you get to recognise that more so than you might do at a gig, I think, because as I was saying before, you play, I guess, different songs in your catalogue of songs because you have that freedom, and sometimes you're surprised by things that seem to go over well, that you might not have thought would be good ones, and sometimes you're surprised in the other way. I guess if something falls a bit flat, then you can kind of go, well, maybe I won't pull that one out at the live show.
Well, fair enough. It's a good place to make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk us through a little bit about where you're going from here. We're sitting in LA right now. You're going to be hitting the stage soon.
Yeah, so I've got a show tonight, but tomorrow we're going to Boston. I'm going to do a few shows there, and then heading to New York to do the CMJ festival over there. And then the trip for me wraps up in Nashville, playing a show at the Grand Ole Opry. So
you've got to be looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I've heard some amazing things about it. So
that has to have been on your bucket list.
Oh, look, to be honest, I'm really embarrassed. I didn't know much about it. Again, like, people are probably going to be cursing me, but I've heard lots of stories, so I can't wait for that. Yeah.
And CMJ, it's industry showcase. It's going to be a little bit different than some of the other shows you've done. Have you done Big Sound before?
I haven't, no. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing lots of the other artists that are playing too. You know, because we'll be there for probably I think 5 nights. So it'll be fantastic to see some of the other acts. We were just having that chat about before how you get to see people on a really intimate stage, which you wouldn't necessarily get to do in other places. So that'll be really cool to check out some other people.
It certainly will, and you're going to get to play amongst them as well at the Aussie Barbecue, which should be a good day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Your new record, let's talk a little bit about that. It came out month. I keep thinking it's still September, month before last.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about the record.
Well, it came out in August. It's called Let the River Run. I recorded it. The producer was a guy called Ollie McGill, who's in Cat Empire. It was a lot of fun working on the album. Like, I think working with Ollie in particular, it was a different dynamic to what I've had in the past. Like he comes from a different kind of genre and I guess style of music than the kind of style that I'm putting out there. But I think the two sort of minds fused pretty well. I felt like it was a really kind of creative relationship. So it was a lot of fun. I think a lot of the songs, like he's brought some new elements to the songs and sort of, given them a bit more, something a little bit different, something maybe a bit unexpected, but it's still something really beautiful. So I hope people enjoy it. Yeah.
What convinced you that Ollie was the right fit for it? Because you mentioned that he doesn't come from that background of music. Not that the Cat Empire really adhere to any specific genre,
no, that's
so
true.
so to speak. But I mean, what convinced you that he was the right fit for the record?
I guess I felt like that point of difference might be really good. And I'd heard some stuff that he produced with other artists, and I thought it sounded fantastic. So we did a trial track together just to see how we work together, and it came out really well. So it just seemed quite natural. So ended up being pretty easy decision.
And what does the rest of the year hold for you after the American jaunt?
Yeah, so I've got about three and a half weeks here, and then go back to Australia for a little while, and then I'm doing a tour in New Zealand in November. Quite like a short tour. I'm doing about 4 shows in the second half of November. So that should be really fun. That'll be my first time doing shows in New Zealand, which will be great. And then I'll come back to Australia and sort of relax probably for a little while. But plan the next tour there, which will probably be early next year.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck over here in America. I hope good things come from it. And thanks for taking the time.
That's a pleasure.